Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to review the ET115 version 2 from LDARC. This is a 115mm quadcopter, which is around 2.3 inch quadcopter. As you can see from the start of the video, I'm testing this line of sight, and you can see that it's flying very well and it's very stable. And when I was flying this line of sight, this was using the stabilized mode, so as you can see, it's very easy to control. So I don't really have any problem with setting up this ET115 version 2. The butterfly itself is very easy to set up, and you just connect to your computer, just go in, and so you must ensure that you set up the mode and also the channel properly. And also, if you want to change some of the parameters for the OSD, just go into the OSD section and then you just change them. So it's that simple. As for the flight control board, this is an F3 flight control board, so I don't have any problems with using F3 flight control board for any quadcopters, so I don't see this as a disadvantage for this ET115 V2. In terms of the receiver itself, I think this is an XM receiver, and it is separate from the flight control board. This is good because if you have a receiver that's attached or built into the flight control board, you're going to have a problem of some electrical noise, and sometimes the quad can just fly and then drop from the sky. So because this is an XM Plus or XM receiver, so the range is more than 100 meters, so you wouldn't have any problem with dropouts. As for the camera of this quadcopter, you can see that the camera is really good, and you can see very clearly. So I was flying this around 4 to 5, I think 5 p.m. and it still produced very good video. And also the default transmission power is 100 milliwatts, which I think that's very important, because with 25 milliwatts type of power, you usually get a lot of video interference. So the default of 400 milliwatts is really good. In relation to the body itself, the VTX and the receiver, they're well protected. And if you have a look at the body itself in the later section of this video, where you can see the unboxing, that the body is well made, it's well balanced, it's a true X frame, so it's very easy to fly, and the body itself seems to be made of very durable materials. The camera angle is a bit not too big, it's a bit small, I think around 15 degrees, so you can only fly this at a very slow pace. But if you want to fly this at a faster speed, you need to change the canopy, which you are provided with 3 spare ones. So you just need to see which one has a steeper angle for faster flying, then you just change the canopy. Taking off the canopy itself is not that hard, there's only 3 screws. So once you take off the canopy, it's very easy to screw them back. As for the props itself, I like screw-on props, because if you fly any quadcopter outdoors, you need to have screw-on props, because if you fly with strong wind, or also if you do a lot of maneuvers like flipping, you're going to be faced with a situation where the air pressure when you're flipping, or if you don't have a screw on, it's going to push on the props up, and sooner or later the props is going to fly out. So I always recommend and I always like to have props that screw on, even if it's a tiny whoops. Or if you fly indoors, maybe you don't need the screws on, but for me, if for a good quadcopter, the props must be screwed on, unless it's too tiny for any screws to be put on the props. But from my personal experience, the micro quads, which is around 105 millimeters. They usually have screw-on props. Props protector seems to be well made, and I think they will protect the props really well. In terms of durability, make sure that you fly over soft ground. No matter how good you are, if you don't fly over soft ground, any crashes will ensure that you're going to break your quad. Because if you do hard maneuver, it's going to come down in a very awkward angle, and you're going to slam the ground really hard, and for sure you're going to break the frame. And because this quad is only around 95 grams plus the battery, it may be slightly more than 100 grams, so it's still safe to fly around people and in crowded areas. So just make sure that you have a very safe distance between yourself, the quad, and also any spectators. So this will comply with most law and regulations, and because it's only slightly more than 100 grams, I think you may be able to get away with this flying in your local playground. So in terms of safety, I think it's safe itself. You can see in my test flight, I was flying this in quite strong breeze or strong wind, and you can see that it handles the wind really well. Not too big angle on the camera itself, so I wasn't able to fly very fast. But in terms of general flying, this is a very good quad and very stable quad. And of course, the overall structure of the quad and also the construction, the makeup, all points to this quad as a very good casual hobbyist quad for everyone to fly, because it's safe, it's durable, you can see, and there's very little risk of it falling out of the sky, and it's also very easy to set up in terms of better flight. With this quad, I used the Taranis QX7. I still think that the Taranis QX7 is much better than the Taranis X-Lite in terms of general flying. But if you want to fly like anything less around 65mm tiny whoops, the X-Lite is more than good enough. So overall, I would recommend this quad. I think the LDARC had on the right solution for a very general application quadcopter for every general hobbyist to fly this quadcopter. So this is for quadcopter for casual hobbies. This is very good. And in terms of the battery, you can either use 3S or 2S. So I was using 3S. It has good enough power. So because I set my timer for 3 minutes, so I only flew it for 3 minutes. I think it may last longer than that. So with this frame, if you want to put any HD camera on it, I think it will be able to lift the camera. So overall, this is a very good quadcopter, and I think it's worth the money to buy this if you want to take your flying outdoors, and this will give you a lot of enjoyment for a long time to come. And I hope that all future quadcopter that is made for casual hobbyists will follow this standard that has been set by LDARC. So anyway guys, hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more videos. And as always, I'm going to end my video and I say quadcopter is not rocket science, so don't be afraid of quadcopter, and hope to see you next time. Cheers.
Everywhere that I go, everything that I do, I will always be around. Always be around. Always be around. Always be around. Everywhere that I go, everything that I do, I will always be around.
Let me see you pop that hoop. Come on. Let me see you pop that, pop that.
Everywhere